Hi, my name's Phil Howard. Welcome to my home kitchen. I'm here to bid a warm welcome to all Nespresso Club members and Facebook followers. What we're going to do today is I'm going to create show you how to make fantastic chocolate brandy snaps, and the key ingredient here is the Ciocattino, which is the recently added variation to the Permanent Variations of the Nespresso range, hoping to inspire you to create these things at home. Okay, so let's make chocolate brandy snaps. Effectively, the starting point of this recipe is to make the chocolate brandy snap mix. It's an incredibly simple thing. We have the chocolate brandy snap mix, which we then need to make into very thin, lacy chocolate brandy snaps. We're then going to roll those around a wooden spoon or something similar, and then stuff them with a sort of a mocha cream based on mascarpone. But the starting point is to make the chocolate brandy snap, the actual brandy snap mix. For this, we're going to put the butter and the sugar into the mixer, and we've got to beat that till it's creamy. Start off with softened butter. Nothing complicated about this, same as any cake mix, lots of biscuit mixes. It just needs to be completely blended together. First stage is the cream comes together with the sugar. Once they're bound, then effectively what we're looking for is for the sugar to actually dissolve into the butter, and then it becomes nice and pale and light. Now put it on to maximum speed, and the whole process with a machine like this should take about 2 minutes maximum. We're then going to incorporate the dry ingredients. For this recipe we've got ground almonds, flour and cocoa powder. Almonds is for flavour, cocoa powder is for flavour, and the flour is there just to ensure that it sets as a biscuit when it's cooked and it's incredibly brittle and light. I'm going to scrape down the sides just to make sure that everything is evenly mixed. It's always good practice to make sure you've got no lumps and to make sure that it's a homogeneous mix. But you can already see it's becoming nice and pale and creamy. We're then going to add the ground almonds. Turn it down a little bit so it doesn't spray everywhere. We're then going to add the cocoa powder. Go even slower here actually, because otherwise you will spray it everywhere. We're then going to add the flour. And then as soon as that's combined, there's just a little bit of orange juice. We just need a liquid of some sort just to let the mix down a bit so it's not too stiff. Orange and chocolate is a fantastic combination. Orange and coffee is a good combination, so that's why we use orange juice. Just gently, while you add it, gradually turn the speed up. And then once that's in there, give it a good beat. As soon as that's combined, turn it off, lift it up, and that is the mix. As with pretty much all preparations like this, they're actually best to sit for a little bit of time in the fridge just to firm up, and it's things like the flour to actually liaise with the liquids in the mix so that it's got time to come together and become one. You make it so quickly like that, it actually will benefit from just sitting in the fridge. So we're going to put that in there, anything up to 2 hours, but it doesn't really have to be quite that long. An hour is good. And you can see we just have this lovely, rich, chocolatey mix. And into the fridge. Okay, so we've made the brandy snap tweel or biscuit mix. Now what we've got to do is we've got to make the filling. And effectively, traditionally, it would normally probably just be whipped cream, perhaps a little bit of booze of some sort in it. But what we're going to do here is whip some double cream and enrich it, if double cream needs enriching, with a little bit of mascarpone. There's a little bit of sugar in there, and then we're going to spike with a Ciocattino Nespresso Permanent Variation, and which gives it the name mocha. I pretty much always use double cream because that's what I prefer to use, and always whisk it by hand. There's a subtle but significant difference between whisk cream by hand and by machine, and really it's just worth the investment. You might get it all over the counter, you might get a few spots on the shirt, but the difference between anything that's whisked by hand and machine is significant. So you're going to whisk it just to the point where it's thickening up and aerated. Don't want it stiff and horrible. It wants to be smooth and rich and creamy rather than set into a firm white substance in the middle. So we're going to take it about that far for now. That's about right. We're then going to add the sugar. We're going to add the mascarpone, and we're going to whisk that until it comes together and it's smooth, and that will thicken it significantly. We're then going to let it down with the coffee. So here we go. We just want a shot of Ciocattino. We're just going to put that in the fridge just for 5 minutes so that it's not hot. You add the hot coffee to the cold cream, you will have a problem. Okay, so now we're going to get our coffee. Our chilled coffee. And pour that into the mix. And now see, with that coffee, don't want to whisk that too much. What we have there now is a lovely cream, not as stiff as it was, with that wonderful Ciocattino flavour coming through. Delicious. Okay, that goes in the fridge. So I've got my chocolate mix, which is firmed up, just taking it from the fridge. And one of the great things about this mix is that it doesn't stick. So many of the fiddly little professional things that we have in the restaurant kitchen is that they stick. They need non-stick trays, non-stick mats, but this is the wonderful thing. And all you've actually got to do here is just put 4 on this tray. You'll probably make about 4 at a time, equidistant. You don't have to do anything to them. They will spread naturally and they won't stick. And those go straight into a preheated oven for about 8 minutes. Okay, so our 8 minutes is up. That's exactly what we're looking for. They should have completely flattened out. They should have slightly blistered like that, slightly little holes in them. They've just got to rest for a few minutes, and then effectively what we need is something that's round that we can then wrap these biscuits around. Let them sit for a couple of minutes. Just going to turn it over, put the spoon on, roll it round. Lift it off. Nothing more complicated than that. They won't stick, they won't break, and there's probably a good minute in which to roll them. There they are. So we've got 2 there to work with. All we've got to do now is let those completely cool and then stuff them with the mocha cream. Nothing more complex than piping bag with a cream, and you want to pipe them full. If it starts to ooze a little bit out the sides, hey, that's absolutely fine too. And there we have it. I'll just crack on so you can see just how delicious that's going to be. That's the business. Get into that kitchen and go make some.